Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. We hope everyone can take their seats as we get ready to launch the program. It's a pleasure to welcome you, and we will begin here in just a few moments. If you can just fill in seats and opportunities wherever you're standing to gather. I'm Dr. Bob Carter, and it's a pleasure to welcome you here today, and we'll just have the program begin in just a moment.
Well, what an incredible day. Welcome, everyone. First off, we have just heard from our medical school orchestra. Despite all the things you have going on, that was incredible. Thank you very, very much. This is part of our wellness program for our medical students. You know, if you think for a minute, and I want you to use your imaginations, we're actually not just opening up a building today. We are opening up the future of healthcare. I did a little bit of digging around on the internet, and it was in about between 1905 and 1910 that organized medical schools actually took root in this country. And we immediately saw an 8% drop in infant mortality, 2% drops in overall mortality. These medical schools make a difference. Since that time, I would guess, between the care and the research that's been done in these types of buildings, it is probably one of the biggest factors that has driven the longevity of all of us, that makes us thrive in this world and enjoy our family and our relationships and our friends. So while we open up a building today, I hope you look around and realize that every one of us has been touched, and we're here because of outstanding doctors and outstanding medical services that get provided. So thank you. And I want to begin with a whole list of thank yous today. Thank you very much. Most notably, and I'm going to say more about the Eccles family and their foundations later, thank you for making this possible. I also want to thank the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The church's anchor gift is in our Global Health Pavilion, named after President Russell M. Nelson. You'll see that on the second floor. As you know, President Nelson was one of our most distinguished graduates of this university. In 1955, he performed the first open heart transplant west of the Mississippi. The reason we talk about global is because after he quit curing hearts, he started curing souls. He had a global reach in his mission, and it was often the procedures that he had taken to China that helped him in his later missions in life as he was serving the world through his faith. And so we're excited, and we appreciate having you here today, President Oakes, and also your wife. Thank you so much for the support of the church. We would like to thank Intermountain Health today. As you look around, you will see the Intermountain Health collaboration level. This is named in recognition of a significant gift by Intermountain Health to support our physicians as they go through their medical education. So we thank Intermountain Healthcare today. To the Dumpke Foundation, we thank you for supporting Dr. Michael Good, a previous head of health sciences who made his career in invention and simulations. So on the first floor, you'll see the Dr. Ezekiel R. and Edna Watness Dumpke Interprofessional Experiential Learning Center, designed to provide remarkable simulation education activities. This is actually the future of medical education in many areas, gives students practical hands-on experience through the use of technology. Thank you for the Dumpke Foundation. There are many, many other donors: ARUP, Bill and Pat Child, Heather Collart. You'll see their names scattered throughout the building. All in all, there are over 200 donors to this building, alumni, current faculty, all included. We would not have been able to pull this building off without you. Thank you very, very much. Well, it takes funding to pull something off like this. A few weeks back, I was hosting the presidents of some distinguished institutions in this building: President of Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Cal Berkeley, Stanford, and Michigan. we took them on a tour through this building and held a meeting here, and they all looked and they said, so how do you actually do buildings like this? We don't necessarily do those at our universities. And I thought, yeah, well, you know, we're quick learners. 800 years at Oxford, you should have figured something out by now, but I guess that's just the way it goes. Well, I'll tell you, and I'd like these people to stand, it's these folks that do the design and construction. So the representatives, Canon Design and Yazdani Studios, VCBO, Jacobson Construction, University Facilities, Finance, Advancement, and others, you've brought this dream to life. Would you all stand up, and could we give you a round of applause? And of course, we are extremely blessed to live in a state where there's a lot of public and private partnership. The state of Utah, through the governor and the legislature, did a lot to make this happen financially as well. And so at this point, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Governor Spencer Cox, the great leader of the state of Utah.
Thank you so much, President Randall. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big deal to be here with you today. This is incredible. A dream come true for our state, for this institution. We've thanked all the people. I need to thank a couple of them. Again, President Randall, thank you for your leadership. You are, I get to brag about him everywhere I go. I truly believe he's the best university president in the United States right now, possibly in the world, and we're proud of you. Thank you. To Spence Eccles and the entire Eccles family, thank you for what you do to make Utah the greatest state in the nation. We love you, we honor you. Spence, I love that your name will be on this building forever, not just because it's 8/9 of my name, but because it represents a legacy. It shows who you and your family are at their core. It talks about your values, and your values are the values of the state of Utah, and it's a reminder of who we are at our very best. And that is a people who collaborates, who works together, who gives back, who always does what it takes to make the community around them better, who sacrifices to lift others. And those values can all be found in this incredible building and this incredible medical school. Now, I was asked to talk a little bit about the economic impact that a building like this and a medical program like this has on our state, and I will certainly do that. When you walk through this building, it's easy to be impressed by the classrooms, the simulation center, the labs, and the technology. But the most important thing about this building is not what is inside it today, it's what will come out of it in the years and decades to come. More doctors, more nurses, and healthcare professionals, more discoveries, more companies, better treatments, better care for Utah families. Utah, of course, is one of the fastest growing states in the nation, and with that growth, while it's an enormous blessing, it also comes with some challenges. It requires us to build for the future that is coming, not just the Utah that we enjoy today. And nowhere is that more important than in healthcare. We need more highly trained physicians and healthcare professionals. We need to train them here. And whenever possible, we want them to build their careers and their lives and their families right here in the state of Utah. We face a critical shortage of primary care providers. That is especially true where I live and come from in rural parts of our state. We're making tremendous progress. Since May of 2025, rural Utah has added 110 primary care providers. That's an almost 10% increase in just a year and surpassed our 4-year goal, which we're very excited about. Through continued investment in the Rural Health Transformation Program, we are working to make sure that more Utahns can receive quality health care closer to home. But meeting the need for long-term requires a strong pipeline of physicians and professionals who are trained here and prepared to serve people throughout our great state. Now, the professionals who make up that workforce improve access to care while also contributing more than $400 million in state and local tax revenues. We like that you're all going to make money and pay taxes, so thank you. Thank you for that. The University of Utah is already the backbone of that effort, training roughly 2/3 of Utah's physician corps. That is one reason that this building, of course, matters so much. It gives us capacity to do even more and to do it differently, to do it better. Medical education is changing rapidly. Students today need earlier clinical experience. They need advanced simulation, collaboration across disciplines, and the ability to learn in environments that more closely resemble the places where they will actually practice medicine. A strong medical workforce also depends on maintaining the connection between research and real-world patient care. Now, healthcare and the life sciences have become one of Utah's greatest economic strengths. I see so many in the room that are in this industry, and we can't thank you enough. The University of Utah health system alone supports nearly 70,000 jobs across our state and contributed an estimated $7.6 billion in GDP growth in 2024. Those numbers are remarkable, but they still don't capture the full impact. Research conducted here becomes discoveries, and discoveries become new treatments and new technologies. Some become new companies. Those companies create jobs and attract talent and investment to Utah. That's how an institution like this becomes an economic engine, not by separating education, research, and patient care, but by bringing them all together. And as much as I care about all of that, that's not why we're here today, and that's not what matters. What matters the most is my sister, who, when she was born in 1980, was expected to only live to age 11 or 12 because of cystic fibrosis. However, because of the incredible care that she received here at the University of Utah by doctors who were trained here at the University of Utah, including a 2-week stay just last month. She's 45. She has 2 kids, which are miracles, and she's living a happy and fulfilling life. They kept her alive long enough for new medical innovation to extend her life, and I will be forever grateful to those doctors who were trained here. It's about people like my dad, who is suffering with Parkinson's, but has access to one of the best neurologists for Parkinson's anywhere in the United States, right here at the University of Utah, who have extended his life and given him more opportunities to spend time with his kids and his grandkids. It's about my son and his wife, who right now are at a building just up here, checked in at 2 a.m. this morning, and hopefully within the next couple hours I'll be a grandpa for the first time. So if you see me leave early, it's not because I've disagreed with anything that's been said. That's why I think why you did this. I know it's why you did this. It's why you all are doing this. I hope you have wonderful careers. I hope you make lots of money and live great lives. But I don't know anybody who got into this job because of that. You're going to work hard, long hours. You're doing that now. You're going to sacrifice a lot. And what for? What's it all for? It's not for the economy of the state of Utah. That's not why you do this. It's not why you built this. It's to make lives better for the people you love and people you don't love, people who you care about and people who you may disagree with. But you take an oath to save lives and to make lives better. And that's what this is all about. So to the Eccles family, to the University of Utah, to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, to everyone who has donated so much to make this happen, thank you. You represent the very best of Utah and the very best of humanity, and we're so lucky that you decided to make this place happen here. May God bless you. Please keep up the good work. Thank you.
Well, thank you, President Randall and Governor Cox. Your support has been incredible to our community and the ability to bring this building online. We're so excited. Seeing so many people here today to celebrate and knowing how much work went into the planning, design, and construction of this building reminds me that this moment really is far more than building a building. It's building a community. It's far more than a health system. It's really building the heart and soul of medicine here in Utah. This is a day for the visionaries, the dreamers, those who came together to make this happen. In the coming days, students, as they walk into this building, they'll have their first exposures to the field of medicine. They will interact with committed faculty and mentors who will teach them the art and the science of medicine, but perhaps most importantly, the heart of medicine. As Governor Cox so eloquently put it, in that service part of it, the service that's reflected in the phrase, when in need, every person becomes our neighbor. The people who train here will go on to serve communities throughout Utah and the Mountain West and beyond. In fact, if you've received medical care here in the state of Utah, it's likely the case that someone who trained here at University of Utah Health was involved in your care. Perhaps it was that physician who delivered your child or grandchild, maybe the pediatrician who went on to care for that child. Perhaps it was a surgeon who helped you through a difficult diagnosis, or the specialist that led you through treatment and recovery. That is the reach of this school. From this campus, our graduates move into hospitals, neighborhood clinics, research programs, classrooms, and communities throughout the United States. They care for patients and lead teams. They mentor young physicians as they become leaders in the field themselves, and they carry new ideas into practice. Our region needs them. Utah is growing quickly. Some communities seem to have sprung up almost overnight, and in others, the shortage of health professionals makes it access to care more than just a long drive. It's difficult. At the same time, medicine is changing rapidly. New treatments and technologies are emerging constantly and reshaping what's possible. Medical education has to keep pace, and the Spencer Fox Eccles School of Medicine will be a pace setter. Here we will teach students to stay curious, work well with others, and be ready to adapt to this ever-changing landscape. This new home gives students the environment to do just that. Flexible classrooms where students will work and collaborate together, in simulation centers that will allow them to have experiences prior to that difficult moment with a patient. Our alumni already know what careful preparation and excellent education can become. As you tour this building, you will see the names of our alumni sprinkled throughout, philanthropic gifts that they've given to name the classrooms and the study areas. They're proud of this building and the legacy that they've received here. Across the region, our alumni are contributing and changing health as they work. Most people who will benefit from this building perhaps will never step foot in it. They will feel its impact somewhere else, in a clinic or an operating room, with a physician who listens carefully and has the confidence that they can help. I'm deeply grateful to the families, the Spencer Fox Eccles family, and the Eccles family and their foundations for the contributions they've made. The work that you've sponsored and put forth will ripple out from this building throughout the region and this state, and I'm so grateful to you. To our donors, our alumni, the staff and students who contribute, to our deans, past and present, Deans Good and Betts and Lee and Samuelson, and Dean Christina Duffin, our current dean, our Vice Dean of Education, Sarah Lamb. The planning and dedication that went into this building is remarkable. So today, we open a remarkable new home for medical education here in the state of Utah. It will impact communities across Utah and our region. We'll now have the pleasure of hearing from our current dean, Dr. Christina Kalish Duffin. Thank you.
Gotta get to the right place here. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Carter, President Randall, Governor Cox. What an amazing day. As President Randall just said, I'm so grateful to everyone who brought us here. The visionaries who imagined this over the last 14 years and the many hands who built it, right down to the teams who were assembling this very space yesterday, maybe even just up to this about 10 o'clock, so we could gather in it today. Thank you. Today I want you to think and walk away with 3 words: transformation, foundation, and connection. The mission of the Spencer Fox Eccles School of Medicine MD program is to purposely educate physicians, physician scientists, educators, and healthcare professionals to ensure compassionate, patient-centered care for all. The job of a medical school is transformation, to take successful college learners and help them to become physicians who can assimilate information, apply it, who think critically, learn adaptively, and grow into the values and responsibilities of this profession. Today we celebrate the culmination of the most purposeful efforts of the last 14 years that bring together the most modern architecture and the architecture of a curriculum, a building and a curriculum paired together that for the next century will give our students the foundation, the connection, and the space they need to become exceptional. What makes this so rare is that they were designed at the same time, simultaneously, in parallel, in partnership, a building and a curriculum, shaping one another, sharing the most innovative ideas of space and education, so that the building itself becomes part of the curriculum. Every space reinforces transformation. A quality medical school in 2026 is not just defined by delivery of information. In 2026 and beyond, our students, and I use this word that I heard first from President Randall, did you make this up? Autodidactic. Students today are tech native, and the next generation will be AI native. They're going to be able to find information so quickly. It's right there for them on their phone. We have to provide them with a community, a space where they can understand, assimilate, apply that information. The space is no longer auditorium style. As you walk through the building, you'll see that. In fact, these steps where our students sit is really a nod of the history of how we've delivered medical education. Those of you who are alumni and current faculty and recent students, residents, not so long ago were sitting in classroom C and D, which was auditorium style with a lecturer in the front. No longer are those spaces auditorium style, they're flat, where you can pivot on a moment's notice, bring the tables together, technology fully integrated with their laptops, their phone, the what's on the wall. The space adapts for how we learn. We also feel that for the last several years, the school's been rather fragmented, right? Very soon after the last school was built in 1965, parts had to go other places. What was in the former building that was built in 1965 outgrew itself, and it took 3 buildings to really replace it. So we're no longer fragmented. We now have our anatomy program here. We have simulation centered here. We're not physically or pedagogically fragmented. And we don't teach in series either, right? We're not fragmented there. It used to be, those of you that have gone to medical school, you did anatomy and then physiology and then organ function, and then in your 3rd year you went out into the community and you started our medical community clerkships and started to learn clinical medicine. We don't do that anymore, right? We integrate it from day one. Within a few weeks, the students are in the clinics, not by themselves, of course, but they're integrating immediately and through simulation environments that replicate the most advanced scenarios and a state-of-the-art anatomy lab for the first time co-located here. And we're connected to the library, the Spencer S. Eccles Health Sciences Library, a space where knowledge is made available. It has also transformed in parallel, literally a new seismic foundation beneath the library and a renovation that physically connects the space where a tunnel that extends the School of Medicine so students can reach that world-class space, this world-class space, and to the people who make that library run, our exceptional library science specialists who help students and faculty not just find but assimilate the information they need. We're grateful for our architect Libby Haslam of Studio LP and contractor Jake Dell of Northridge Construction, who very thoughtfully preserved the character and the history of the Spencer S. Eccles Health Sciences Library, from the original floor-to-ceiling wood paneling and interior doors to the exterior lettering. And we're grateful to the architects of our curriculum, many of which are here today, our community, our faculty, our staff, and our students of the Spencer Fox Eccles School of Medicine that bring together the most important parts of medicine, our people. They can all now come together, build community where an informal conversation in the Collard Foundation Cafe will organically shape a student's professional identity, the kind of physician they dream of becoming. So we're grateful for a community that can come together to build three things. That's a nod to Dr. Good, by the way, three things. This foundation, firm enough to hold us for the next century, flexible enough to grow with everything medicine will become, a connection, the tunnel, the integration that end our fragmentation, join our curriculum, our space, discipline to discipline, person to person, and a space not to receive information, but to apply, integrate, interpret it. Thank you to the Eccles family and the Eccles Foundation for starting it all with your amazing lead gift, and to all the generous supporters who followed in their footsteps. And thank you to our Vice Dean for Education. A special shout out to Dr. Sarah Lamb, who through all the 14 years, with so many partners, with so many dedicated faculty and staff along who saw this from start to finish in building a curriculum. And I also want to recognize the contributions of the deans who preceded me, Laura Spetz, Vivian Lee, Michael Good, Wayne Samuelson, Sam Finlayson. Each of them played a pivotal role in realizing the vision for our new medical school. So thank you. Again, a day filled with gratitude. And now we'll be very pleased to hear from one of our second-year medical students, Parker Hicks. Thank you.
You know, it's really interesting to be here because when I was 12 years old, I watched my sister be treated for and eventually cured of leukemia at Primary Children's Hospital not too far from here. And that was my first experience of many that eventually led me to pursue becoming a physician in hopes that I can give back even just a little bit for what medicine has given to my family. Now, a few years later along that journey, I found myself back on this campus as a high school student. And a friend of mine pointed out Building 521 as the medical school. And I can still remember staring at that building, trying to imagine myself inside of it studying medicine. Well, I held on to that thought, and I found myself back here in 2022 as a summer undergraduate research assistant. And I made a point every single day during that summer to walk through the halls of Building 521, not because it was on the way to my lab, but because I wanted to know what it felt like to walk through a medical school. And I remember thinking to myself, I hope that I get to come back here one day, but I hope that I'm back here as a medical student. Well, that dream came true last year when I stepped foot onto campus as an accepted medical applicant. And that same day, I sat down next to two people who, little did I know, would become two of my best friends in medical school. And together, we watched a documentary on the legacy of Building 521 and the vision for this brand new School of Medicine building and its curriculum. I then got to spend my entire first year of medical school studying from that curriculum as I watched this building come to life. I remember driving to campus early in the morning when it was still dark outside, just so that I could see the illuminated Spencer Fox Eccles School of Medicine sign out front. And I would spend countless hours studying close by just so that I could watch all of the final touches being made. And finally, in March of this year, I was able to tour the building for the first time. And when I did that tour, I noticed something interesting. The curriculum that I had been spending an entire year studying was embodied in this School of Medicine. For example, instead of traditional lecture halls, I saw massive pavilions with round tables showing our focus on collaboration and teamwork. I saw state-of-the-art simulation labs reflecting the value that we place on early, hands-on clinical training. And I saw dedicated house spaces where we can develop relationships and friendships with our classmates who will become our trusted future colleagues. Now, as I look back on all those different experiences that have brought me to this point, I could not be more grateful to be continuing my dream of becoming a physician in such an incredible building. and I am so excited to watch countless generations of future medical students do the same. Thank you. Go Utes.
Hey, that was spectacular. We've made you all sit here, and you've been spectacular. I have a couple questions for you. How many of you have some affiliation with the state of Utah? Either were educated here, grew up here. Look at that. Many Utahns here. How many of you are first-generation college students? How many of you are first-generation medical school students? All right. You know, they say every university is built twice. First in the mind and the conception of individuals, and then actually physically. If you look at the University of Utah, we're 176 years old. It's probably been built more than twice. And there's been countless individuals, institutions, families who in their imagination have thought, what can this university do to make our community, our state, and our nation, and our lives better? And today, I want to just spend a minute celebrating one of those great families who's been here from perhaps the beginning of the history of the University of Utah. 1863, David Eccles, a builder, came to the state of Utah from Scotland, became a great industrialist and a wealthy man. More importantly, he understood the value of civic life and what had to be given back. And perhaps it was his belief, though I don't believe he attended college, in educating people and giving them the skills for the future that really drove that. If you look at the next generation, his son Mariner, chairman of the modern Federal Reserve, with basic intuition, grit, and a heck of a lot of courage, saved this nation from certain disaster during the Great Depression. And while he was doing that, his partner in crime, George Eccles, was back here building one of the greatest banking institutions that the West had ever seen. It was George who began the first real big philanthropic campaign for these facilities here. And it is actually Spence's dad, who decided he needed to lead the first major charitable campaign for this institution and this healthcare network. So it goes on and on and on. Another important player in this was Nora Eccles Harrison. If you look around the corner, you will actually see a cardiovascular research and training institute that this year is launching one of the most exciting phase 1 trials that the world will ever see. A shot given to you that has a chance of curing, not delaying, cardiovascular disease. That is the type of impact that the past generations of Eccles have had. But now we're here today, those that are still here, honoring you, Spence, and your kids. And we have a major launch, and we'll be back in just a few short years to celebrate the opening of the Eccles Health Campus and the Eccles Hospital in West Valley. As you can see, step by step, this is one of those families that has driven this health system and this medical education to greatness. Let me just read these names. And by the way, I'm probably going to embarrass them with this, so I'm sorry. Here are just the buildings in our healthcare system. The Nora Eccles Harrison Cardiovascular Research and Training Institute, the Spencer S. Eccles Health Sciences Library, the George S. and Dolores Dory Eccles Critical Care Pavilion, the Emil Eccles Jones Medical Research Building, the Spencer F. and Cleona P. Eccles Health Sciences Education Building, and also dollars to expand the Moran Eye Center. But the impact of this family goes well beyond just bricks and mortar. I saw Mario Capecchi here, a Nobel Prize winner, $17 million to genetic research. And as you know, we are one of the leaders in genetic research. So we appreciate from top to bottom all of those contributions. And there are many of you that have been with us over multiple generations. The University of Utah is strong because we have families and institutions like the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that have been with us for hundreds of years, and we will need you into the future. So now, a few words about Spence. Spence likes to tout his academic attraction to the University of Utah. He said, "I came here to ski." And was certainly an all-American athlete. He said he came in here as an Ogden boy and left a Utah man. But I will tell you, the combination of Spence's skiing and his academic prowess here at the university were a magic solution, because somehow the rest of his life he spent giving 110%. And anybody that knows him knows he gives 110%. Spence, I'm a 95% guy myself, but today I'm trying to give 110%. You've been building for generations, and I think it is fun to just think about the juxtaposition of your father's library standing right next to your medical school. Think about that for a moment. Spence, generations of students just like these. First generation college students, Utahns, will be walking through these doors to discover treatments that will change all of our lives. But you've always known it's not the building, it's the people that were meant to be developed. It's the human capital that we all have a responsibility for building. So, ladies and gentlemen, will you please join me in welcoming one of the most remarkable people I know, someone who takes the world with 110%, a true Utah man, Mr. Spencer Fox Eccles. He took that in one step, by the way.
You got it.
Right here.
Already.
Good morning. We're a team today.
Yes, indeed, and have been for a long time since I picked her up at this hospital and took her home to keep. And I did. Well, we thank you, President Randall, for your kind words and visionary leadership. And I must say, with you at the helm of our state's flagship university, it's most certainly in good hands. And of course, thank you, Governor Cox, for your support and for being here with all of us today. And oh yes, President and Sister Oaks, thank you both so much for your friendship over these many years. It's an honor to have been with you and to celebrate with us today and this special occasion. And oh yes, Parker, soon to be Dr. Hicks. Thank you for representing your fellow medical students so well indeed. Because you are the future, and yes, after hearing your remarks, I think we can agree the future couldn't be brighter. And yes, good morning to you all of you. Wow, what a building. Isn't this building something? I'm overjoyed that this beautiful School of Medicine is finally open for business. As chair of both the George S. and Dolores Doré Eccles Foundation and the Nora Eccles Treadwell Foundation, thanks to each and every one of you for sharing this important and historic day with us today. You know, when then President Ruth Watkins and Dr. Mike Good approached the foundations, they both presented a bold vision for a new medical school, not just a building to replace old building 521, which I can attest was more than fully depreciated, but really to build on our past legacy of greatness and ensured excel in the years ahead. And yeah, the more we thought about it, I just knew that Uncle George and Aunt Noni would for sure jump at the chance for a brother-sister partnership that truly showed their deep commitment to medicine and bettering the lives of all Utahns. And Aunt Noni, over there, she's still there. Where am I?
Right here.
Aha. Aunt Noni's still there. And Aunt Noni, over there on the wall, just gave me a big thumbs up, okay. That's a yes on the vote as far as I'm concerned, and I'm going to keep it there. So also a big thank you to my colleagues on the boards of both these foundations. I can truly say it, it's been 110% effort. And yes, I'd like to ask the members of both the foundation boards to please stand and be recognized. First of all, my daughter, Lisa. Second, Robert Graham. Well, you are here. Well, this is my day. Robert Graham, he is in his 96th year young. Larry Harrison, San Francisco. Katie Eccles, co-chair of the U of U Board of Trustees, and Catherine Economy, San Francisco. And Ken Spitzer, former director of the CVR-TI. So thank you so much for all that you do. So thank you all what you do and have done. And of course, none of this would have been possible without the heartfelt commitment and generosity of so many of you here today who have given of your time, talent, and treasure for this building, and ardent supporters, our state legislature, and so many of our own amazing faculty who will be the ones to truly build this building for its life. That's you. I'll see you later.
No, don't go anywhere. Well, thanks so much. Honestly, it's hard to believe that it's been 4 years since we broke ground on this amazing building. And standing here, looking out over all of you, I am in awe. I really think this is the most exquisite building on campus, President Randall, and Governor, even in the whole state. Oh, excuse me. 1 minute.
Is there a doctor in the
Dr. Carter.
Who's hurt?
Little Hope just fainted.
One moment, please. Taylor?
We'll just pause for a moment, if it's all right.
Yeah, no, I'm in good shape.
Okay, you don't want to sit down for a second?
I just can't find all my places. That's a little hope, is it? Well, she does this on occasion, but
That was my little niece. I'm glad we're among the best medical care providers in the world, so that's helpful. And there goes Dr. Simbato.
and it helps us prove a point, too, of course.
I was just saying that this is the most beautiful building on campus, and Governor, I think in the whole state. And so first, I personally want to recognize our brilliant architectural team, the very talented Murdad Yazdani. He's our own star architect and a rock star. It's been a joy to work with Murdad, I can tell you that. And Celestia Carson from VCBO, and Randy Sauer and Corey Hawk from Jacobson Construction for making this magnificent building a reality. And I have one more special thank you to a dear friend and internationally renowned artist, Galina Perova. There you are, Galina. Thank you so much for beautifully capturing the spirit of my parents in a lovely portrait that will grace the entrance of this building for generations to come. Always reminding us of the lifelong partnership of generosity and compassion. Also, those are traits that are very core to all medicine. You know, this project has been an all hands on deck project from the very beginning. Attending monthly meetings with my sister Katie and the remarkable Tony Leighton, my sidekick for so many years at the foundation, and the wonderful university team led by Heidi Woodbury, all to work out those eensy-beensy finer details that we were stuck on, weren't we, Murdad? Sorry about that. It was clear from the get-go that no detail was too small. But it's fair to say we put our heart and soul into this place. And one thing is for sure, we were determined to make this building everything for both the faculty and our students so that they could succeed, because that's what we are all about, our faculty and our students. Now, Dad mentioned This was a bold and brave idea that President Watkins and Dr. Good brought to us to build, as they both put it, the crown jewel of the health science campus, launching us on this very rewarding, albeit expensive, journey. He usually says, "I hope the check clears." Well, you do.
That was my ad lib. Little ad.
Mr. Q. Their vision, built on the efforts of past leaders, President David Pershing, Dr. Vivian Lee, and Dr. Loris Betts, they laid the early groundwork to bring us to this moment. And now we look to the leadership and vision of Dr. Carter and Dean Duffin to define and refine the future of medical education in our state. An education that will distinguish Utah and the Intermountain West as a model for excellence in medical training. Of course, today's celebration isn't all about the building. As you know, it's about the magic that happens inside. Here, talented students and faculty stand on the shoulders of past giants who built the stellar reputation of our medical school, and will use this world-class facility to continue that culture of excellence, a culture of excellence that brought forth the invention of the first artificial heart, pioneering genetics, life-changing and life-saving therapies and devices, and yes, Utah's own Nobel laureate, Dr. Mario Capecchi. A culture of compassionate care by doctors like our dear friend and Dad's beta brother, Dr. Thomas Kane, who served not only generations of our family, but also so many others with tender skill and devotion. And I would add, he has been an admired teacher and mentor to thousands of medical students over the decades. And a culture of educational innovation that Dr. Carter was just talking about. And that continues in a unique clinical experience where, thanks to Dr. Sarah Lamb, first-year medical students begin hands-on training in our local community clinics in the very first week of medical school. This is very innovative and very exciting. What an incredible culture, a rich history, and now this magnificent building. What an exciting future we have here at the Spencer Fox Eccles School of Medicine. And what a historic moment to share together. Shakespeare may have said it best when he said, "The golden age is before us." And how proud we are, my dad, Hope, Katie, Spencer, along with Dad's 10 perfect grandchildren, and of course, my beautiful mom, to celebrate this exciting progress and great success of the University of Utah Health Sciences. Now, to our School of Medicine students and faculty, because that's why we're all here. Our family's hope is that for every student that comes through those doors, they know that this place is something truly extraordinary, a place for heroes and hope, a place of unlimited possibilities, and there's no doubt about it, a place that's created just for you.
I wrote this part.
Come over here.
And Lisa, I couldn't agree more. I just want to give my personal heartfelt thanks to all of you from me and my beloved Fairview-born Cleon. I can tell you this is pretty high cotton for this Ogden boy. You know, remember standing right over there, just over the hillside, just steps away, 61 years ago with my mom and sister, Nancy Hope. I was just 31 years old. I was younger then. When we broke ground on the Spencer Stoddard Eccles Health Science Library on that barren hillside. Bearing just an unbelievable hillside. And now think what's there for the whole shooting match here. And way back then, I never could have imagined what is here now. To stand in this glorious building in the heart of this elite academic medical campus just about takes my breath away. And to have this building connected to my dad's medical library is truly a proud full circle moment for me. So I'm just so grateful to be here to witness this day, and I'm so privileged, honored, and humbled to have my name associated with all of you and with this exceptional medical school at my treasured alma mater. And as you may know, optimist that I am, I truly believe that the best is still yet to come. So I say, full speed ahead, and go Utes!
'05, 1905, a promise to advance medicine, to improve lives. Today, that promise rises anew. To educate the next generation, inspire discovery, serve humanity, transform possibility. Now we open the doors to what's next. The future of medicine starts here.
Thank you all for your attention. Would now like to invite those that are involved in the ribbon cutting to come forward. We appreciate all that's been done today. I know we have plenty of activities that will occur throughout the building. Enjoy the rest of your day here. Would you like to come forward now?
All right, everybody, when we're ready, I'll lead us in a countdown. I need everyone participating. We'll count down from 5 with a big cheer, okay? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.